Okay, so many of us know someone, or maybe we've experienced it ourselves. These really frustrating skin issues, red, scaly patches, super itchy, and they seem to flare up right when you're stressed out or maybe after you've been sick.
It's incredibly common.
And you start wondering, what is this?
Yeah.
Is it my immune system going haywire? Could something like, I don't know, acupuncture help? Maybe with herbs?
Right.
And what about food? Are there good foods, bad foods? What daily habits actually make a difference?
These are exactly the questions people have.
So today, that's what we're doing. We're taking a deep dive into psoriasis. We've looked at our sources, and we're going to unpack it from both the Western medical angle and the traditional Korean medicine, or TKM, perspective.
We're trying to get a really comprehensive picture.
Exactly. The mission here is to, cut through some of the confusion and give you some solid, actionable insights. Maybe even a slightly different way to think about it.
Sound good?
All right, so let's kick things off. For anyone dealing with this or just trying to understand, what exactly is psoriasis? What's happening?
Well, at its core, psoriasis is a chronic inflammatory skin disease. The main problem is really an immune system dysfunction.
Immune system, okay.
Yeah, it causes your skin cells to grow way too quickly, much faster than they should. They just build up.
And that buildup is what we see, right? Those really noticeable symptoms. We're talking the red rashes, erythema, is that the
It's
term?
erythema, yes.
Yeah.
Often covered with those silvery white scales, which are called squama.
And it's often intensely itchy, right? Sometimes the skin can even crack or bleed, which sounds awful.
It can be very uncomfortable, definitely. And you're right about common spots. Scalp, elbows, knees, lower back are very typical.
Yeah.
But it's worth remembering, psoriasis isn't just one single thing. There are different forms, like plaque psoriasis, which is most common, but also guttate, pustular, erythrodermic types.
Ah,
So the way it looks, the actual symptoms can vary quite a bit depending on which type someone has.
gotcha. So the immune system is definitely key here from that Western medical viewpoint. What's the thinking on why? Why does the immune system start doing this?
Western medicine mostly classifies psoriasis as an autoimmune disease.
Autoimmune. Right.
Essentially, your own immune system gets confused. Certain T cells, which are supposed to fight infection, become overactive and mistakenly attack healthy skin cells.
So your body's attacking itself, basically.
In a way, yes. This attack signal speeds up the life cycle of skin cells dramatically. They reproduce way too fast for the body to shed the old ones.
And what triggers that initial confusion? Is it just bad luck?
Well, our sources point to a couple of big factors. There's definitely a genetic link. If psoriasis runs in your family, you're more likely to get it.
Okay, so predisposition.
Exactly. But genetics usually just load the gun. It's often environmental triggers that pull the trigger.
Like what?
Things like stress, that's a huge one. Infections, like strep throat, certain medications, smoking, heavy alcohol use, even just an injury to the skin, like a cut or a bad sunburn.
Wow, so lots of potential triggers.
Yeah. So fundamentally, Western medicine sees it as this long-term inflammation combined with an immune system that's out of balance.
Okay, that provides a clear picture from one side. Now, this is where I find it gets really fascinating. How does traditional Korean medicine, TKM, look at psoriasis? It often seems like such a different way of thinking.
It really is a different lens.
Yeah.
TKM doesn't just focus on the skin itself. It sees psoriasis as a sign, a manifestation of deeper imbalances within the body. It's about finding the specific internal patterns that are out of whack.
Patterns, okay. Like what kind of patterns?
Well, there are several key ones. A really common one is called blood heat, or hyaleol. Think of it like excess heat literally circulating in your blood, which then rises to the surface, the skin, causing that redness and inflammation.
Heat in the blood. Interesting.
Then there's wind heat, pungial. This is often seen when symptoms appear suddenly, spread quickly, and are intensely itchy, like an external hot wind has invaded the skin layer.
Okay.
We also see damp heat, supiol. This happens when dampness, like a sticky, heavy feeling, and heat accumulate inside, often because the digestive system, the spleen and stomach, in TKM terms, isn't working quite right.
Dampness and heat together. Sounds unpleasant.
It often manifests that way. And then there's liver key stagnation, ganul. This is really important, especially with stress. When you're stressed or frustrated, your body's energy or key gets stuck. It doesn't flow smoothly.
And that stagnation causes problems.
Yes, that stuck energy can easily transform into heat, which then affects the skin. This is often linked to stress-induced flare-ups.
That connection makes sense.
We also look at blood deficiency, hyo. This isn't necessarily anemia, but rather the blood lacking sufficient quality or quantity to properly nourish the skin. So the skin might be dry, pale, and heal slowly.
Undernourished skin.
Exactly. And finally, there's yin deficiency with internal heat, yin represents the body's cooling, moistening fluids. When that's depleted, you get this kind of empty heat rising up, leading to dryness, maybe night sweats, and that internal feeling of heat.
Wow, okay. So it's not just one thing, it's a complex picture of what's happening inside.
Absolutely. And in reality, people often have a mix of these patterns. It's rarely just one simple thing.
So which combinations do you see most often?
Very frequently, we see a combination involving blood heat, damp heat, and that liver key stagnation we talked about, especially the stress component.
Which explains why treatment has to be so individualized, I guess.
Precisely. That's the core of TKM treatment.
So let's talk about that treatment. From the TKM side, what are the main approaches? How does something like acupuncture fit in?
Acupuncture is a really powerful tool for psoriasis and TKM. It works on several levels. It can help reduce inflammation directly. It helps suppress that awful itching.
Oh, that would be huge relief.
Definitely. It also helps regulate the immune system, bringing it back towards balance. And importantly, it's great for alleviating stress, tackling that liver key stagnation.
And how does it work? Do you just put needles anywhere?
Oh, no, it's very specific. The acupoints chosen depend entirely on the person's individual TKM pattern diagnosis.
Right, those patterns we just discussed.
Exactly.
Specific points for specific imbalances.
That's the idea.
Fascinating. Okay, so that's acupuncture. What about herbal medicine? I understand that's a big part of TKM too.
It absolutely is. Customized herbal prescriptions are really a cornerstone of TKM treatment for conditions like psoriasis.
Customized again, not just grabbing something off the shelf.
Definitely not. The formula is carefully constructed based on that individual's constitution and their specific mix of patterns. The heat, the dampness, the deficiency, whatever is dominant. Precision based on the individual's unique imbalance.
This really underscores how TKM looks at the whole person, which brings up a big question. What about things like diet and just daily habits? How important are they in managing psoriasis from this perspective?
Oh, they're considered absolutely crucial. TKM is inherently holistic. Diet and lifestyle aren't just add-ons. They're seen as fundamental parts of the treatment and long-term management strategy.
Right, it's not just about the herbs or needles.
Exactly. What you eat, how you live it all directly impacts your internal environment. Those patterns of heat, dampness, key flow we talked about.
So our sources mention specific food recommendations, things that help, say, detoxify heat or clear dampness.
Yes, definitely. For clearing heat and detoxifying, TKM often recommends cooling foods. Think things like cucumber, lotus root, maybe minari if you can get it, burdock root, even watermelon or buckwheat.
Cooling foods for internal heat makes sense.
And for that sticky, damp heat, things that help drain dampness are good, like mung beans, barley, Job's tears, also called koi seed, or red beans, and zucchini.
Okay.
To help calm blood heat, foods like pears, pomegranate, jujube dates, or persimmons can be beneficial.
And what about that liver key stagnation from stress?
For promoting smooth liver key flow, the emphasis is often on fresh, green vegetables, things like radish, maybe a little lemon or lime. Blueberries are sometimes mentioned too. Things that help move energy.
And for the dryness, the deficiency patterns?
For replenishing fluids or jin yolk and nourishing blood or yin, things like black sesame seeds, lily bulb, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, good quality fats, and seeds are often helpful.
So a lot of focus on whole natural foods tailored to the imbalance. What about foods to avoid?
Yes, the avoid list is just as important. TKM generally advises limiting or avoiding alcohol, coffee, and sugary carbonated drinks.
Why those specifically?
They tend to generate more heat and dampness internally, especially aggravating liver heat.
Okay, adding fuel to the fire.
Pretty much. Also, flour products like white bread, pasta plus fried foods, processed foods, instant meals. These are seen as major culprits in generating dampness and accumulating heat.
The standard inflammatory foods in Western terms, too, often.
There's often overlap, yes. Also, sometimes beef and certain seafood, like shrimp and crab, might be advised against partly due to their heating nature in TKM or potential for sensitivities.
Interesting. And spicy food.
Yeah, spicy foods, chili, hot peppers are generally discouraged because they directly aggravate heat, inflammation, and itching.
So basically calming the internal environment through diet. What about daily habits? Stress came up a lot.
Huge. Managing stress is paramount. Excessive stress, anger, frustration, they directly cause that liver qi stagnation, which, as we said, turns into heat. So finding healthy outlets is key.
Like meditation or...
Meditation, yoga, qigong, even just regular walks in nature, anything that helps you unwind and process stress.
What other habits are flagged in TKM?
Staying up late, having a really irregular sleep schedule, this depletes your yin, those cooling fluids, allowing that empty heat to rise. So prioritizing consistent sleep is important.
Sleep hygiene. Got
Also, surprisingly maybe, overly restrictive dieting can be a problem. If you cut out too much, you risk causing blood deficiency, which means the skin doesn't get nourished.
it. Finding balance, not extreme restriction.
Exactly, and even bathing habits while you want to be clean. Excessive bathing, especially really hot showers, or scrubbing the skin too hard, can actually weaken the skin's natural barrier function from a TKM perspective too.
Dental care is better.
Yes, and of course things like smoking and excessive alcohol are strongly advised against, as they consistently worsen inflammation and heat patterns.
That all seems like very practical advice. So wrapping up the management side, any other key tips from the sources?
A few consistent recommendations came through. One is simply drinking enough water, aiming for maybe 1.5 to 2 liters a day. This helps with detoxification and just keeping the body properly hydrated.
Simple but important.
Very. Also, consistent moisturizing is key. Using gentle, natural oils or maybe specific TKM external washes or creams prescribed by a practitioner helps soothe the skin and support its barrier.
Okay.
And really reinforcing that proactive stress management. Don't wait until you're overwhelmed. Build those practices into your routine.
And patience, right. You mentioned this takes time.
Absolutely critical. Our sources emphasize that this isn't an overnight fix. Consistent, sustained treatment is necessary. We're often talking 3 to 6 months, sometimes even longer, to achieve significant, stable improvement. It's about rebalancing the entire system.
It's a journey, not a sprint.
Precisely. And the goal in TKM, maybe slightly different from a purely Western cure mindset, is really focused on recurrent suppression and effective long-term management.
So fewer flares, less severe flares, better skin overall.
Exactly. Bringing the body back into a more resilient state of balance, so the psoriasis is much less likely to flare up, and if it does, it's milder and resolves quicker. Improving quality of life significantly over the long run.
Okay, so as we finish this deep dive, it feels like the main takeaway is that psoriasis is really complex, isn't it?
Definitely multifaceted.
And looking at it from both angles, the Western understanding of the immune dysfunction and triggers, combined with TKM's focus on internal balance, patterns, diet, lifestyle, seems to offer a much more holistic and potentially powerful way to manage it.
And that's a great summary. It leverages the strengths of both perspectives.